Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. Hey guys, today is Wednesday, February 15th, and the energies within the day adds up and reduce to the number 6 vibration. If today's your birthday, happy birthday. So the spirit animal associated with the energies in the day is the fox. So the fox energy coming up. So immediately upon looking at the fox energy, my attention is going towards the need to be discreet, the need to be private, the need to, I'm just getting the feeling of being reclusive, or reclusive is what I'm getting. And at the same time with the fox energy, I'm getting reclusive. I'm also getting, it's like retracting. It's like retracting something. So say yesterday you said something or did something, and it's like now wanting to retract what you've said. And the reason why I'm going to retract, because I think of how fox are able to like hide their footprints so that hunters can't see, hunters can't hunt them because they're able to hide their own footprints. So I'm getting the feeling of someone like, it's like taking a step back on something that was done, or trying to reverse something, or, that's what's coming up with that energy. But let's jump into the tarot earlier and see what's coming up with that. Okay, interesting. So the Hermit energy comes up, and the Hermit talks about going within. When you look at the Hermit card, the Hermit is up at the top of the hill and has its lantern, and within the lantern is the star. And it brings me to the star card, and the star card comes before the tower. So when I think of, say, the tower moment, like say, for example, for some people, maybe for whatever reason, yesterday there was a sudden and unexpected change or perspective, but something caused you to see things a different way, or maybe questioning certain things. Where when I think of the star card, I think of, say, someone being vulnerable and open to transformation, open to change. I think of the Hermit with the star within the lantern, and the Hermit being a more mature figure, someone who's been through things. So I think of someone reflecting on past healings or methods that they've used in the past to help them to overcome or get through something, and they're pulling back for those kind of ways of handling things and kind of standing back and assessing a situation. So I think of the fox energy, like I said, retracting, and then the Hermit energy of assessing, trying to understand something on a deeper level. The moon is a part of a T-square. The moon is dealing with the opposition between Mars, which is in Gemini. So the moon is in Sagittarius, and Mars is in Gemini. So that opposition, that back and forth between, say, information, between, diving deep into something or dealing with just the surface aspect of it. And a square is being made to Neptune conjunct Venus in Pisces. So when I think of the square being made to Neptune conjunct Venus in Pisces, I think of how our motivation and our inner world is avoiding time alone and introspection. To me, this is where our intuition, our premonition is speaking to us, is guiding us in a certain direction. But it's hard for us to hear that or even trust that, because it's just not something that we've been conditioned to. And some of us could find ourselves terrified at the thought of our own intuition speaking to us. I think of Mercury being the ruler of the day, and Mercury is in Aquarius and it conjuncts Pluto, which is in Capricorn. So Mercury being the ruler of the day, the mind is in a space where in Aquarius, it is curious about, it is reflecting on, say, the past and the future, freedom and at the same time serving. How can I serve and still be free? And Mercury is squaring Uranus and Taurus. Uranus energy deals with freedom and innovation. Taurus energy is stability, its foundation is tradition. So the mind is in a space where it feels conflicted when it comes to, say, how can I be more innovative and free when it comes to, say, the practical things in life, when it comes to traditions and things. I think of the thought of not being able to have it all, as far as making everybody happy and making ourselves happy and being free in the process, and sacrifices that's needed, or even boundaries that's needed, and the sacrifices that might have to come from putting down boundaries. Mercury is positively aspecting Mars and Gemini, so our mind is positively aspected by our motivation to connect with people who are familiar within our local communities, or just chit chat about things that are not that deep, or just random things, because it requires no commitment. So it's like what I'm getting from the day, the vibe that I'm getting from the day is whenever I feel overwhelmed and I'm going through something and I'm able to show up and chit chat with people and have like quick chit chats, even though I'm not a surface talk person. If I'm going through something, I don't really want to get deep, because there's something deep within me that needs my attention. And just the thought of even reflecting on that thing, it hurts at the moment. So the energies within the day, to me, it's calling us to go within, but we're avoiding going within. And that brings me to the number 6 energy. The day adding up and reducing to the number 6 vibration, and the energies within the day adding up and reducing to the number 6 vibration, and the day being the 15, 1 plus 5 is 6. The number 1 is the individual, the I am, it's a thought. The number 5 is change, it's balance. It's things going from one extreme to the next. So the day itself is a lot of focus on random changes and lots of idea, but the need for freedom, but at the same time wanting to commit and be responsible for the community, but wanting to be free in the process. It feels like an oxymoron to a certain extent. But the number 6 overall dominates the day. And with the number 6 energy, the number 6 is a material-driven energy. And those who are strongly associated with the number 6, and the number 6 energy is within all of us, some way, somehow. The number 6 energy is within all of us. And this is that energy that anchors us to reality, to the reality in the sense that our goals having to do with material things. Our goals saying, when I have this car, when I have this kind of person, when I gain some weight, when I lose some weight, it'll mean this, that, or the next about me. And when it comes to, say, this energy, we can find ourselves suffering because we feel like we're not enough. And of course, we're not enough because we're comparing ourselves to something else. We're comparing ourselves to something we'll never be, opposed to trusting that we are perfectly imperfect and exactly where we are meant to be. And with the number 6 energy dealing with the material realm and things that are on a surface level, I always encourage that whenever the number 6 is present, like say on a day like today, you want to avoid certain kind of content or even social media, because it's so easy to bring yourself into a dark place. I say bring yourself because it comes down to our focus and what we're placing our attention on. So based on what you're placing your attention on today, it's so easy to fall into a sad space of I'm not enough, I don't have enough, I'll never be enough. It's that kind of energy. And whenever we find ourselves feeling that way, pull the journal out. Who am I comparing myself to why I'm not enough? Who am I comparing myself to where I'm not enough? And why do I choose to force myself to be in someone else's lane and deal with all the traffic going on in their lane when my lane is available? Who I am is available. I am available to be me. Everybody else's role is taken. So why do I want to be everybody else, do what everybody else is doing? And I'll go deeper and say, who says that this is the definition of this, that, or the next? Who says that this has to be this way, that way, or the next? So it's beneficial for us to question things so that we can realize how silly it is for us to participate in certain beliefs and then punish ourselves because we're something else other than what we're forcing ourselves to be, not realizing that there's a standard for everything. Like, while I was in beauty school, that's when I realized there was a standard for everything. And as a stylist, it is our jobs to try to manipulate whether it is your hair or makeup so that you can, so that our clients can get as close to the standard as beauty as possible. So the furthest a person was from the standard, it meant something about them. I'm sorry, my alarm went off, so it's ended my video. So yeah, the further a person is away from the standard of beauty, the more it meant that they're not enough. And it's like, who decides and who benefits? Because then we spend all this money trying to force our hair to do something it'll never do, or try to force ourselves to look like something we'll never look like. And yes, when we put on all the paints and the different things and we look like a thing for the moment, like deep inside, we know we'll never fully be that. So that makes us feel even more awful about ourselves. And then when we're home and, home away from wherever we go, where we got to put all that on, it's like we'll feel uncomfortable for people to come and see us in our natural state because we're not that. So it's like I like to ask myself questions like, who decides this, that, or the next, and who benefits? And what kind of power do they have over me for me complying and agreeing to this reality? I know it's easier said than done when we're talking about topics like this, because some people really suffer when it comes to like who they are and not feeling like enough, not feeling like they're good enough. And to me, it just comes down to like, if you weren't comparing yourself to this thing or the next, would you still feel like that? And of course, you wouldn't feel like that if you weren't comparing yourself to anyone or anything else. Utilize the Hermit and the Fox energy to go within today. I feel like there's some questions or understanding or reflection that needs to be done. I feel like the bulk of this will happen tomorrow as the energies really pull us within. But when it comes to, say, today, you can find yourself on social media looking at the effects of yesterday. And we have to remember that social media allows us to show a small percentage of our lives. And people are going to choose to show, I'm going to choose to show the positive parts of my life. What's the point of me being on social media and showing how sad and tough life is? So I get it. But at the same time, some people could go as far as staging certain events on social media to make their life seem like whatever they want it to look like. And they have the right to do that. That's their business and nobody else's. But the point that I'm trying to make is that it's important for you to not judge yourself or your life based on what you're seeing on social media or just what you're seeing, because you never know what anybody is going through. Like growing up, my mom and the elders used to always say, never grudge anybody for what they have, because you don't know what they're going through to get it, maintain it, or even have it. So when it comes to, say, the number 6 energy, I just think of how our definition of success, when the number 6 energy is present, our definition of success is based on material things. And material things are always losing value. They're always fleeting. They're always breaking down, decomposing, or moving away from us. We get the latest phone, and before we know it, there's a new one out, and that new phone isn't so new anymore. You know, you get a certain kind of partner, and before you know it, the partner is getting old. We're all getting old. So things are always changing. Things are always losing value. So it's important for your definition of success to be based on your spiritual and emotional growth. If you're growing spiritually and emotionally, like there's nothing you can't do. You guys, such a pleasure sharing this message with you. If you want to book a reading or check out my exclusive content on Patreon, the links are in the description box below. If you're still here with me, I'd love to hear about it. Please let me know by dropping me a white heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.